Hello, welcome everyone to this paper presentation. My name is Hamoud Al-Jaman and I will be presenting our work on software defect prediction using tree-based ensembles in the 16th edition of the PROMISE conference held virtually. This study was conducted by a team including myself and my PhD student Mrs. Amal Al-Adba from King Saud University. This slide shows the outline of my presentation. The core of our contributions is in the empirical study part, where we will show very interesting results from our conducted empirical study. In software engineering, software engineers always aims at developing high quality software within allocated budget and time. Software quality is influenced by many factors, and for sure, software defect is one of the main influential factors in software quality. Therefore, researchers have been investigating the applicability and utilization of machine learning model to identify the parts of the system that are most effective. This will help us to apply the costly quality assurance methods on these selected parts of the system. In the area of machine learning, ensemble learning have been evolving and many techniques have been proposed, and they are proven to be more stable in prediction performance over individual models. The purpose of this paper is to investigate a number of tree-based ensembles in software defect prediction. Ensemble learning is an area of machine learning where the output of multiple machine learning models are combined to produce a final output. Ensemble learning helps us to learn from complex data patterns to make better decisions and better classifications. To build an ensemble model, you have to train first a set of base classifiers, then combine them using an average or a voting method to produce a final prediction. Therefore, an ensemble can be homogeneous if we are combining classifiers of the same type. However, if we are combining base classifiers of different types, it will be called heterogeneous ensemble. In this paper, we are focusing on tree-based bagging and boosting homogeneous ensembles in software defect prediction. Based on our survey of the existing software defect literature, we have found a gap in the lack of applicability of tree-based ensembles in software defect prediction. This table summarizes our survey and shows the gaps in current literature. In our empirical study, we have formulated the goal of the experiment using the GQM template, as we are planning to evaluate a set of tree-based ensembles for the purpose of software defect prediction with respect to their prediction performance reported in accuracy and AUC scores from the perspective of both researchers and software practitioners in the context of 11 software defect datasets. In order to achieve our goal, we have formulated two research questions. The first one is investigating whether tree-based ensembles will improve software defect prediction significantly over individual decision trees. The second research question is that we are investigating which tree-based ensemble is superior among the set of ensembles that we are investigating in predicting software defects. This slide shows the components of our conducted empirical study. We have utilized 11 NASA defect datasets. We have done data pre-processing to them, and we built the investigated tree-based ensembles and then compared the significance of performance differences between these ensembles using the Wilcoxon statistical analysis test. All of these steps were fully implemented using the Python language. We have used the cleaned version of NASA defect datasets. They are well known in the area of software defect prediction. each dataset contains a different number of instances, that is size, and it has a set of independent variables of static code metrics and one dependent variable, a binary variable, indicates whether the instance, which represents a subroutine, a function, or a method, to be a defective or non-defective. Our data preprocessing included two steps: handling the data imbalance and feature selection. To handle the data imbalance problem, we have used the well-known oversampling technique SMOOT to handle the imbalanced defect datasets. In the second step, a proper selection of relevant features can improve the reliability and effectiveness of the machine learning classifiers. Therefore, we have used the gain ratio as a feature selection technique to select the most relevant features. Gain ratio is the normalization of the information gain that takes the number and size of branches into consideration. The value for information gain can range from 0 to 1. And we selected the independent variables that have a value greater than or equal the average gain. Below table shows the number of independent variables before and after applying gain ratio feature selection. You can see that 30% of the independent variables were considered irrelevant and thus excluded from the datasets. If you would like to see and explore the pre-processed datasets, they are available for download in our GitHub repository, and the link was given in our paper. In addition to individual decision trees, we have investigated a total of 7 tree-based ensembles, 2 of which are tree-based bagging ensembles, and they are random forest and extra trees, while the other 5 are tree-based boosting ensembles, and they are gradient boosting, histogradient boosting, XGBoost, and catboost. As for the implementation, we have used Python scikit-learn framework in addition to catboost and XGBoost libraries to implement and validate our models. For validation and evaluation, we have used stratified tenfold cross-validation to validate our models, and we have used accuracy and UC to evaluate the prediction performance of these ensembles. This table presents the investigated prediction performance of our tree-based ensembles in terms of accuracy and AUC scores over all defect datasets. We can observe that individual decision trees was consistently one of the worst performing classifiers across all defect datasets in comparison to tree-based ensembles by having the lowest accuracy and AUC scores. AdaBoost showed similar performance compared to individual decision trees. If we exclude AdaBoost ensemble, all other tree-based ensembles showed a higher prediction performance compared to individual decision trees. Considering the prediction performance of all ensembles, random forest and extra trees, bagging ensembles competed for the best performing ensemble in each defect dataset. Next, we plotted the ensembles accuracy box plots for each defect dataset, as shown in this figure, to further examine the accuracies, dispersion, and differences between ensembles. The bigger the box and longer whiskers indicates higher dispersion and accuracy scores. And as more the box goes to the left side indicates worse performance, while if the box goes to the right side, it indicates better performance. We used the non-parametric Wilcoxon statistical test to test whether the differences in accuracy scores between two classifiers is significant or not. Each classifier will be compared against 7 other classifiers in the context of each defect datasets. For example, here decision trees had 6 losses and didn't win against any classifier in the context of CM1 defect dataset. So what is the total number of paired comparisons for these data sets in the context of our empirical investigation. So decision tree will be compared against 7 classifiers in 11 data sets, which resulting in 77 total of paired comparisons. We can see extra tree and random forest. According to the last column, it had the highest number of wins across all defect data sets. In the contrary, ADA-post dataset and decision trees had the highest number of losses, and it is also notable that decision tree didn't win against any ensemble in any defect dataset. We further expanded the previous statistical test results to present classifiers paired comparisons as shown in this table. If you read this table row-wise, it shows the row classifier wins against the column classifier. If you are reading it the other way around, the column classifier loses against the row classifier. If I take this number here, this represents the number of wins of extra trees against gradient boostings, and the number of losses of gradient boosting, which is 6, against extra trees. It is noticeable that extra trees never lost against any classifier in all paired comparisons. In addition, random forest also lost a single time against extra tree in one of the software defect datasets. For ADA-post and decision trees, it had the highest number of losses against other classifiers. It also that shows that the ADA-post ensemble never lost against decision tree in any of the software defect datasets. This also shows clearly the superior prediction performance of tree-based bagging ensembles, random forest, and extra trees in software defect prediction. In this paper, we empirically investigated the prediction capabilities of tree-based ensembles in software defect prediction. Our study outcomes shows promising results for both software engineers and machine learning researchers of the applicability of tree-based ensembles in software defect prediction. For future work, this work can be extended by replicating the experiment with the new software defect datasets. In addition, the prediction capabilities of heterogeneous ensembles can be used to compare compared against our presented tree-based homogeneous ensembles. At the end, I would like to thank you for listening to my presentation, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me by email. Thank you.